Hello everybody, Ken Hertz here, and welcome to the Joy of Mixing. As promised, I am back. We are going to go ahead and take a look at another mix breakdown. This is the song Someone Better Comes Along from the artist Mary Spender. And good news here is you can actually check out the link down below, go and see the recording of this song, give you an idea of how it was recorded, and you can download the multi-tracks. You can mix this thing along with me. You can mix it however you'd like. Definitely check it out. Check out Mary. And of course, check out Produce Like a Pro. All links down below. Go check it out. Let's dive in here to this song. I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to a little bit, and then we will go ahead and start breaking it down. I like to start off all of my mixes with the drum kit, starting off with the kick. So that's going to be where we're going to start. Let me go ahead and hit play here and just let you have a listen.
So scared, someone better come along. I'll be waiting, someone better worthy of a song. Ooh, someone better come along. I'll be waiting. Driven her insane.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look again with starting off with the kick. And I leaned in this mix, I leaned pretty heavily on the SSL channel strip. So a lot of the tracks to this song have the SSL on it. So we'll go ahead. I went with a preset here. This is Put This on Any Drum. Let's go ahead and listen to the kick. Let me solo it out. Before I dive into that, let's just talk about, so we have a kick. Let me close this. We have a live kick here. We have a sample kick here. And then of course these two are being bussed into a kick bus. So let's listen to just the kick. So we have some kick low end coming from the actual kick that was recorded. That's where I'm getting my low end from. Then we have this sample here that's giving me the click, the high end of the kick. And then of course that's going into our bus. I'm going to start off with just the kick here. Let's go ahead and pull up what we're doing there. Just doing some high passing, again, getting away from that low end rumble in the kick. Then looks like we're doing some boosting. I'm boosting at 67 hertz. Again, just with what's going on here with this preset, pretty much went with what the preset had to offer, which would be, just a little bit of compression here, boosting some of the low end, boosting at 67 hertz. Taking out a little bit of 600, taking out 600 because it just seemed a little too, the hollowness of the kick was just kind of the muddy sort of area in this kick. Just taking that out a little bit. It's nothing crazy. Just to kind of add a little bit of clarity to the kick, especially when it comes to the low end, which was the main driving factor here on this track. And then boosting a little bit at 492, just to get a little bit of high end, just a little bit of clickiness to this kick. So that's what we have going on there. Oh, looks like I also boosted a little bit of 188, again, probably just to get some air. I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then we'll switch the EQ on and off, and you'll hear rather just how subtle this EQ is. And plus also the SSL channel strip is doing its own sort of mojo as well. So let me go ahead and hit play. Here's no EQ. Put it back in. So you can hear that low end. You can hear this 67 boost is really coming out when you put the plug in, when you put the EQ in the plug-in. So that's what's going on with the low end. Let's take a look at the high end of this kick. I'm going to solo it for right now. For the sample here, I'm using trigger 2. You know, Stephen Slate trigger 2. This is pretty much what I use for all of my sampling, you know, for drums or for whatever else. So definitely, if you don't have trigger 2, I think it might even be trigger 3 now. Definitely go ahead and check it out. It works great for, definitely for drum samples. Let's go ahead. What are we doing on trigger 2? We have this kick thick. I'll solo that. Let's have a listen. We have Reed Chippin' Ocean Way. Let's go ahead and throw that in. Putting some air on that top end. Try and bring this back down to about 0. So putting some air on the top end and adding some click. And then if you take that sample and you throw it in with the low end, get a pretty good sounding kick. And the track.
You, me, her, running back and forth, the rules all her. Who came up?
So then on our kick bus, now this would be, you know, these two tracks combined now into a bus. Doing sort of the same kind of thing, boosting the low end. I went down to 50 hertz, boosting down at 50, cutting out some 200, again, to emphasize or to clear up, to clean up this low end. I'm taking out a little bit of 200 and then doing a little boost just to get some a little bit of high end, a little bit of clickiness at 3.5K. And this, let me bring that back up. I want to play it, just going to play it with
So
the EQ.
scared. Someone better
And no
come
EQ.
along. I'll be waiting. Someone better worthy.
So again, bringing up that low end. We also have some Valhalla, just a little drum plate, just a bit of space in the kick.
So scared. Someone better.
Take it out. And you get kind of a dry kick. Put it back in. And that is the kick drum. Let's go ahead and move on to what we're doing with the snare here. Hit play. So important note here is the snare is actually brushes. So I wanted to emphasize that the brushes a little bit. I went in and boosted about 5K. Went and boosted 1.8 hertz. Got a little bit of low end at 106, 100 to 200, somewhere in there to get the meat, what I call the meat of the snare, that sort of low end in the snare. I didn't go crazy on this particular snare because we're not using, this isn't sticks here, it's just brushes. So you're only going to get so much meat, so it didn't go crazy. High passing at 53 hertz, again, more or less just to kind of get away from the kick a little bit. And I think that was it. Oh, taking out a little bit of 600, a little bit of the boxy sort of area in the snare, just to kind of to clear up, you know, kind of clear up the low end and sort of clear up the high end. Let's go ahead and hit play. This would be without the plug-in. Again, subtle. This is very, very subtle things. subtle because this is sort of a quiet, kind of intimate kind of song, and so the moves I'm making here are all pretty subtle stuff. Doesn't always have to be subtle, but for this song it is. What else are we doing here? Taking out some of the resonant frequencies with Soothe 2. Let me just hit play. Really wanted to clear up those brushes. I wanted you to be able to hear those bristles hit that snare. And I wanted it to sound clear and present, so I took out a little bit of the resonant frequencies there. Then we're doing just a little bit of compression. 4:1 ratio. Take these away. Sounds okay. Also, with our kick and our snare, we're busing out to bus 4, which would be sort of a sidechain compression on the kit. And we're also busing out to 2. I don't want that. Busing out to 2, which is our sort of snare ambience here. Let's go ahead and play that. Take away the snare ambience. Hey, you just get kind of a dry snare sound. But I like a little bit of space with the snare, so we're going to leave it in. That's it. That's it for our snare. Here's snare and kick together. And you can hear a little bit of the vocal bleed back there. No big deal. We're going to leave that bleed in. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the overheads. Let's give these guys a listen. Again, have bleed, vocal bleed in there. No big deal. Not worried about it at all. Overhead left, you can see I panned the overheads pretty much just, I didn't go full blown left and right. Just about 50%. In Logic, it's about 38, plus 38, minus 38. And I can tell you that this overhead left and right has pretty much the same just RD overheads, this preset here. Again, taking out some low end, trying to get away. Want that clear, nice, clear low end from that kick. So getting out of the way of the kick here. Let's see, boosted a little bit of 182 just to put some low end in the overheads, but definitely getting away from the kick. Taking out a little bit of muddy 370, 3.7 dB at 370. Boosting a little bit, getting a little bit more out of those brushes at 4.5K. And then a little bit of air on top at 802. Let's go ahead and I'm going to solo this out. This would be without the EQ, without the SSL channel strip. Throw it back in. Let's go to the overhead bus here. Got a little overheads darkener. Maybe I think maybe it was a little bit too airy, so darkened it up a little bit. Without. Put it back in. We have some Soothe 2, which isn't doing a lot. A little bit of harshness out of the cymbals, a little bit of harshness out of the brushes, but hardly doing anything there. In fact, let's go ahead. Here we have it on Delta here. You can hear what it's taking out. Just clearing it up a little bit, and then doing a little bit of compression as well. We're bussing over, of course. We're going to send the overheads over to our little bit of sidechain compression. Not going nuts there. And we're also doing some bus 5, which is just a plate, I believe. Yep, chrome plate from Lustrous Plates. Let's go ahead and listen to that. This is just a little bit of verb over the entire kit.
I'll be waiting.
We have our snare verb we talked about. We have our drum compression. Let's go ahead and listen to that. Right, so not doing very much. Subtle things for a song like this. Drum verb, these two together.
Happier.
All right, so that is our pretty much our drum kit. Let me see if I can solo out. Sometimes I'll send the entire kit to its own bus. I guess I didn't do that for this song, but let's go ahead and listen to the entire kit together. Here it is. Again, not worried at all about bleed. If bleed were distracting in this kit, if bleed was a real problem in this kit, maybe I would have addressed it then, but not worried at all. And put it in the track.
It must have driven her insane to see you happier. When did I sign up for this game? So triangular.
That is it. That is how I went about mixing the drum kit for this particular track. When we come back next time, we will talk about the bass. You can see we have a lot going on here. Bass low, bass high, bass amp, bass bus. All things we will talk about in the next video, so stick around for that. Be sure to, if you like the video, go ahead, leave me a thumbs up. Any questions, any comments, drop them down below. Check out Mary Spender. There'll be a link in the description where you can go and you can check out the video, see how this song was recorded. Download the multi-tracks. Mix this song with me or mix it by yourself. And until next time, folks, I will see you later. Happy mixing. So long.